After destroying the Purple Moon Holy Land universe, Luo Feng remained cautious because he suspected that Purple Moon Ancestor might still be inside the miniature universe. If Purple Moon Ancestor had been trapped there, destroying the universe could have released him. However, Luo Feng had prepared for that possibility. Morosa, now a king of the sector beasts with power comparable to a void space true god, would be able to overwhelm Purple Moon Ancestor. Luo Feng himself also possessed the supreme willpower technique, linear element technique, which surpassed the divine eye technique and was coveted even by godly kings. Since Luo Feng's willpower had reached the holy level, any being whose willpower had not become holy would be instantly suppressed and rendered unconscious by his attack. Luo Feng recalled that when Morosa had previously attempted to devour the miniature universes of East Emperor Ancestor and Purple Moon Ancestor, it had discovered that East Emperor's willpower was stronger while Purple Moon's was weaker. Since even many void space true gods failed to achieve holy level willpower, Luo Feng believed it was impossible for the weaker Purple Moon Ancestor to have reached that level. Nevertheless, both East Emperor Ancestor and Purple Moon Ancestor had transcended reincarnation and gained eternal life, leaving Luo Feng puzzled about their true whereabouts. The mysteries of Universe Ocean remained vast, and the existence of powerful eternal true gods in the world of Jin reminded Luo Feng that he was not invincible. For this reason, he continued to keep Morosa's identity as a sector beast king secret. Luo Feng returned to the primal universe, leaving Morosa inside his miniature universe. Soon afterward, he accompanied Primal Chaos City Leader to the Ancestral God Palace in the Ancestral God Secret region. Primal Chaos City Leader was eager to demand the release of Teacher Origin now that the Sector Beast crisis had been resolved. Upon arriving, the three ancestral gods confirmed that the Origin would honor its promise and that Teacher Origin was already being released. As Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader waited, a distorted wormhole appeared within the hall. A man in white robes emerged from it, bringing a peaceful and calming aura that seemed to suppress time and space itself. It was Teacher Origin. Overcome with emotion, Primal Chaos City Leader teleported before him, knelt, and wept. Throughout countless years, he had dedicated himself entirely to protecting the human race and preserving everything Teacher Origin had built. Teacher Origin gently lifted him up and remarked that it was a pity that Huge Axe was no longer alive. Primal Chaos City Leader explained that Huge Axe had been killed by a sector beast. Though Luo Feng had resolved the crisis and recovered Huge Axe's supreme treasure, the godly axe, Teacher Origin expressed regret that Huge Axe had not lived to witness the human race's current success. He fondly remembered Huge Axe's adventurous nature and compared him to a child under his care. Teacher Origin, Huge Axe, and Primal Chaos City Leader had once shared a relationship like a father and two sons, with Huge Axe as the elder brother and Primal Chaos City Leader as the younger. The three ancestral gods congratulated Teacher Origin on regaining his freedom. They then looked at Teacher Origin and Luo Feng, both dressed in white robes and regarded as the two greatest figures in human history. Teacher Origin represented the early era of humanity, calm and gentle, while Luo Feng embodied an unstoppable force, sharp and determined. Sensing that there was much to discuss, Teacher Origin invited Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader to leave with him. After they departed, the three ancestral gods reflected on the future of humanity. They believed that with both Teacher Origin and Luo Feng leading the race, humanity would become even stronger. Teacher Origin had once challenged the Origin Will itself, while Luo Feng had become so powerful that even the Origin Will dared not provoke him. They expected both of them to eventually reach the void space level and believed that humanity could one day possess two additional Holy Land universes. With the Sector Beast threat gone, humanity was destined to enjoy a long period of prosperity and growth, while other races would no longer dare oppose them. Back within human territory, Teacher Origin toured Milky Way Holy Land and marveled at how the universe passageways of every race now existed within human territory. He admitted that he never could have imagined such a scene in the past. Turning to Luo Feng, Teacher Origin expressed deep gratitude. He explained that he had watched Luo Feng's growth while imprisoned and never expected him not only to rise to greatness but also to free him from eternal suppression. Teacher Origin attempted to bow in thanks, but Luo Feng immediately stopped him, unwilling to accept such a gesture from his teacher's teacher. Teacher Origin nevertheless insisted that Luo Feng had bestowed an immense favor upon him. Luo Feng then asked the question that had long troubled him. What had Teacher Origin done to provoke the Origin will so severely that it had suppressed him forever? Even the Origin will had once told Luo Feng that it could not release Teacher Origin until the Sector Beast crisis was resolved because of restrictions imposed by the supreme laws. Primal Chaos City leader admitted that he also knew very little about the matter. Rather than answering immediately, Teacher Origin changed the subject and asked about Purple Moon Ancestor. After learning that Luo Feng had destroyed Purple Moon Holy Land Universe, he wanted to know what had happened to Purple Moon Ancestor himself. Since transcending reincarnation granted eternal life, Purple Moon Ancestor should have survived even if his miniature universe was destroyed. When Luo Feng replied that he had never seen Purple Moon Ancestor, Teacher Origin was stunned. He began muttering to himself that perhaps Purple Moon Ancestor had only left behind a divine power avatar. Realizing this possibility, Teacher Origin became visibly shaken and repeatedly said that if he had known this earlier, he would never have chosen the path he had taken. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader exchanged confused looks, wondering what Teacher Origin had just realized. Teacher Origin revealed that before his suppression, he had been unrivaled in Universe Ocean and was only cautious of the two Holy Land ancestors. He suspected that the ancestors never left their holy lands because they were unable to do so, leading him to believe that transcending reincarnation might be part of a conspiracy. Initially, he thought the original universe's original mind was responsible, but after being suppressed and coming into contact with the supreme laws, he realized he was mistaken. The original mind only controlled the original universe and lacked the authority to force beings to transcend reincarnation. The requirement for void space-level experts to transcend reincarnation came directly from the supreme laws. Teacher Origin explained that the original mind itself was actually weak and possessed only basic intelligence, drawing its power from the origin of the original universe. Fearing that transcending reincarnation would bind him forever, he devised a plan to destroy the original mind and replace it with his own consciousness. To achieve this, he created the virtual universe, which mirrored the real universe, by spreading his consciousness throughout the original universe through the virtual universe. He attempted to clash with and ultimately seize control from the original mind. However, this plan violated the supreme laws. As a result, he was punished and suppressed. Through this punishment, he gained a deeper understanding of the supreme laws and realized that his attempt to take over the original universe had been fundamentally wrong. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader finally understood that the virtual universe had been created as part of Teacher Origin's effort to seize control of the original universe itself. Primal Chaos City leader remarked that it was no wonder the original mind had refused to release Teacher Origin until after Luo Feng resolved the Sector Beast crisis. Luo Feng reflected that the supreme laws treated the original universe and the Sector Beasts impartially. If the Sector Beasts won, they would destroy everything. If the original universe won, contributors such as Luo Feng would be rewarded. Nevertheless, he felt the situation was unfair because the Sector Beast King, despite being at the void space level, was not forced to transcend reincarnation, whereas life forms born within the original universe were subject to such restrictions. He realized that both the original universe and the Sector Beast King stood at the highest level of existence, while all life forms born within the original universe were inherently subordinate to them. This realization pleased him because he had successfully enslaved the Sector Beast King. Morosa. After the Sector Beast crisis ended, peace returned to Universe Ocean. The miniature universes of the first and second universe eras had all been destroyed. Skeleton Master, who had sided with the Sector Beasts, still retained his miniature universe because Morosa remained alive. But after becoming the Sector Beast King, Morosa killed Skeleton Master with a single thought to keep the truth about the king hidden, causing Skeleton Master's miniature universe to collapse as well. Tens of thousands of eras passed. One day, the demon race's Ren Yu master traveled toward the world of Jin but discovered that it had completely disappeared. After verifying his coordinates, he confirmed that the world of Jin was gone. News of its disappearance quickly spread throughout the original universe, and Luo Feng personally arrived at the location to investigate. Despite extensive searches by Luo Feng and many other experts, no trace of the world of Jin could be found. It became clear that the world of Jin had silently departed sometime during the previous tens of thousands of eras. Luo Feng remembered that one of his divine power avatars remained inside the world of Jin. Deep within Universe Ocean, the world of Jin was actually traveling through a strange and distant region. After learning that it had left its original location, Luo Feng's avatar waited until the universe membrane turned white and then flew out in a true god-level spaceship to explore its surroundings. The moment the avatar exited the world of Jin, it encountered endless flames. Both the true god-level spaceship and the avatar were instantly annihilated. Back in Milky Way Holy Land, Luo Feng sensed the destruction of his avatar while speaking with his son, Luo Hai. Fortunately, he had already exchanged nearly all of his military credits for treasures during the war against the sector beasts. Although he did not know where the world of Jin had gone, he understood that it remained intact and that the descendants of the ancient civilization living within it were still safe. Luo Feng concluded that the world of Jin had come to Universe Ocean specifically to help the original universe survive the sector beast crisis. Now that the crisis was over, it had quietly departed. He believed this was because the world of Jin contained the inheritance of the ancient civilization. And if it had remained, later generations in Universe Ocean would have gained easy access to that inheritance. As he contemplated its departure, Luo Feng wondered when he would ever see the world of Jin again. After more than 6 trillion eras of peace, Luo Feng lived within his miniature universe while Shi Mo, the first true god born from the remote ocean lineage and one of Luo Feng's earliest creations, managed much of the affairs of Milky Way Kingdom. Milky Way Kingdom had been established under Shi Mo's leadership to strengthen the influence of Earthlings and the remote ocean lineage within the increasingly powerful human race, which now possessed 98 true gods and 1.222 universe masters. Shi Mo reported that another universe master had emerged in the kingdom and mentioned that Nake, once the most talented youth in Blood River World and later accepted as Luo Feng's disciple, was approaching the universe master level, though he likely lacked enough time to break through before the end of the current universe era. Shi Mo then informed Luo Feng that signs throughout the original universe indicated its approaching destruction. Large numbers of stars were dying across many star domains, and the birth rate of talented life forms was declining. Realizing the original universe had entered its final stage, Luo Feng became excited because he had long awaited this moment. Since the Sector Beast crisis, he had reached the level of a top-tier true god of void space and had created top-tier level 12 techniques. Over trillions of eras, Morosa had continuously demonstrated the destruction origin to him, helping him improve greatly. Although Morosa itself had advanced even further and had already become an eternal true god. The giant guard beside Luo Feng was revealed to be Morosa. Both Luo Feng and Morosa had waited a very long time for the destruction of the original universe because the original mind had promised Luo Feng the opportunity to comprehend the entire process of destruction. Before witnessing it, however, Luo Feng decided to visit Sitting Mountain Guest. Arriving in a deserted star domain, Luo Feng reflected on how much Sitting Mountain Guest had helped him throughout his life. From providing the Star Tower to sacrificing his own miniature universe during the Sector Beast crisis. Luo Feng had expected Sitting Mountain Guest to contact him after that crisis but had never received any instructions. Knowing he would soon stop suppressing his power, break through to true god of void space, and transcend reincarnation, Luo Feng wanted to know what Sitting Mountain Guest expected of him. Luo Feng traveled to Sitting Mountain Guest's palace and met his teacher beside a pond. Sitting Mountain Guest joked that he had proven more patient than Luo Feng. Luo Feng urged him to reveal any task or request before the original universe ended and before he transcended reincarnation. Sitting Mountain Guest, however, said there was still no need to rush. He produced a golden crystal and gave it to Luo Feng. Inside was Sitting Mountain Guest's virtual consciousness. Sitting Mountain Guest explained that there were matters he could not speak about because of the restrictions imposed by the supreme laws. However, once Luo Feng began transcending reincarnation, those restrictions would no longer apply. At that moment, Luo Feng could activate the golden crystal, summon the virtual consciousness, and finally learn everything. Sitting Mountain Guest then instructed Luo Feng to focus on comprehending the destruction of the original universe. He emphasized that the original universe was the most perfect and vast universe and that its destruction contained endless mysteries that would provide unimaginable benefits. He also reassured Luo Feng that transcending reincarnation was not a trap but a positive opportunity. After receiving the crystal and thanking his teacher, Luo Feng departed to prepare for the destruction of the original universe and his future transcendence. As the original universe neared its end, Luo Feng and Xu Xin stood in the solar system watching a newborn star rapidly age into a giant red star. Xu Xin reflected on their long journey from ordinary high school students on Earth to witnesses of the universe's destruction. Earth had already been relocated into Luo Feng's miniature universe, where a simulated solar system environment had been created. Soon afterward, a female beast god from the ancestral god school arrived with a message from the three ancestral gods. The original universe would be destroyed in 3 years. And Luo Feng was required to visit the ancestral god palace before then. With only 3 years remaining, large-scale relocations began across the universe. Humans prioritized relocating sector lords, undying fighters, powerful cultivators, talented individuals, and their families into miniature universes. Because Luo Feng's miniature universe was 1,000 times larger than those of ordinary true gods, humanity was able to relocate far more people than other races. More than 900 human universe masters and over 1.222 universe masters from the Han Alliance entered Luo Feng's universe along with vast populations. The humans already regarded Luo Feng and Teacher Origin as future founders of Holy Land universes. 6 true gods from the first and second reincarnation eras, including Juhi, Blood Orchid, and Rampaging Devil God, also sought refuge in Luo Feng's universe, and he accepted them due to old friendships and confidence in his future growth. 1 month before the Great Destruction, Luo Feng arrived at the Ancestral God Palace. The 3 ancestral gods informed him that their mission was complete and departed. A natural wormhole then carried Luo Feng into the land of origin of the original universe. There, he entered a mysterious space filled with countless light spots containing either inheritances or immense origin energy. A rainbow-like brilliance connected his will to the entire original universe, allowing him to perceive its complete structure, including its laws, energy systems, secret regions, natural wormholes, and the organization of its origin. Luo Feng immersed himself in understanding the universe's deepest workings while waiting for the final destruction. As the end arrived, all races observed from Universe Ocean. The original universe collapsed at an astonishing pace. Membrane walls shattered, secret regions disintegrated, stars and planets crumbled into particles, and all life forms were annihilated as their life energy flowed into the origin. Through his connection to the universe, Luo Feng experienced every detail directly. He observed the beginning of the origin spinning wildly as it devoured everything. The entire universe was reduced to its origin, which emitted a brilliant light after absorbing all life energy. Witnessing this process gave Luo Feng profound insight into the destruction of life and the nature of rebirth. Luo Feng realized that the destruction of the original universe was fundamentally different from the destructive power of sector beasts. The universe's destruction served rebirth and the continuation of life, whereas sector beast destruction sought complete eradication. Immersed in these revelations, he began comprehending a new path of destruction. Once the process ended, he dismissed his divine power avatar and focused entirely on cultivation within 9 sectors mountain. For 360.000 eras after the destruction, Luo Feng remained in seclusion. During this time, many visitors arrived, including Teacher Origin, Sitting Mountain Guest, and numerous disciples. But none could disturb him. Shi Mo and Morosa guarded him continuously. Eventually, Luo Feng awakened, having successfully comprehended the path of destruction and reached the level of an eternal true God. His understanding combined the destruction of life's origin with the annihilative destruction represented by the sector beasts. After emerging, Luo Feng learned that a new original universe had already been born and a new reincarnation era had begun. Observing the newborn universe, he gained even deeper understanding of the cycle of destruction and rebirth. Teacher Origin soon visited, and Luo Feng revealed that he had reached the eternal true God level. They coordinated their future breakthroughs so they could transcend reincarnation around the same time. Luo Feng then began his breakthrough. Within the origin space of his miniature universe, countless passages opened, drawing in endless chaotic airflow. His miniature universe expanded from just over 1 billion light-years in diameter to 10 billion. Then continued growing until it finally reached an astonishing 100 billion light-years in diameter. During the process, his divine power evolved by another 100-fold, and his damaged 5th pair of wings was fully restored. Teacher Origin also successfully evolved his miniature universe, reaching a diameter of 5.2 billion light-years, though it was far smaller than Luo Feng's. Sitting Mountain Guest recognized Luo Feng's universe as a legendary perfect eternal-level miniature universe. The countless true gods and universe masters observing the event were stunned. Luo Feng had once again created an unprecedented miracle within Universe Ocean. After the breakthrough, an invisible message informed Luo Feng that he had 1 year to transcend reincarnation. Since Teacher Origin had advanced a month earlier, they effectively had 11 months remaining. Luo Feng spent the following 10 months arranging matters, meeting family members, old friends, disciples, and companions from every stage of his life. He visited people such as Wei Wen, Bo Lan, Rong Jun, Wu Ka, Thunder Lord, Tru Yan, and many others. Reflecting on the countless lives that had intersected with his own, Luo Feng also offered Tru Yan the opportunity to become a true god within his miniature universe. Before departing, he gave his disciples a final lesson. Eventually, accompanied by Teacher Origin, he set out for Tilted Peak Sector to attempt the transcendence of reincarnation. Many important figures, including Sitting Mountain Guest, Primal Chaos City Leader, Shu Shen, his family members, and numerous true gods, gathered to see them off. Sitting Mountain Guest expressed confidence that if Luo Feng could not succeed, then even ancient figures such as East Emperor Ancestor and Purple Moon Ancestor would never have survived. As everyone watched, Luo Feng and Teacher Origin departed toward Tilted Peak Sector to begin the final challenge of transcending reincarnation. Luo Feng and Teacher Origin traveled toward the incarnation portal in Tilted Peak Sector, guided by a powerful summons and maps left by previous transcenders. At the portal entrance, they saw countless blurry lifeforms and confirmed it was the path of reincarnation. Luo Feng chose to enter first because of his confidence in Star Tower's protection. After entering safely, he informed Teacher Origin that there was no danger and invited him to follow. Inside the incarnation portal, Luo Feng observed countless phantom lifeforms moving through the passage. He summoned the virtual consciousness of Sitting Mountain Guest from a golden crystal and finally demanded answers about his teacher's true identity. Star Tower, and the 9-volume manual. Sitting Mountain Guest revealed that he was actually the godly king of Jin, a powerful ruler from the land of origin and the creator of Star Tower. He explained the cultivation hierarchy: true God of void space, eternal true God, holy, and godly king. Eternal true gods comprehend origins of the universe. Holies master chaos itself, and godly kings create miniature universes within their own bodies. He further revealed that there was an even higher realm beyond godly kings, a level reached by the legendary Yuan, creator of the linear element technique. Sitting Mountain Guest deduced that Luo Feng had inherited the linear element technique after completing Wu Qi Tower's trials and receiving supreme authority within the world of Jin. He explained that many powerful beings desired the technique, but only exceptional talents at lower cultivation levels could successfully learn it. He then recounted his history. Born in the land of origin, he rose from a tribe to become a master craftsman, founded Jin country, married the woman he loved, and became its godly king. However, Shi country invaded, destroying his kingdom, killing his wife, officials, and brothers. Driven by revenge, he fled and sought to enslave a sector beast. Inspired by the example of Purple Wood godly king of Tien Mu country, who had successfully controlled a sector beast and established overwhelming dominance, Sitting Mountain Guest ventured deep into Universe Ocean along with many other fallen rulers who sought the same goal. He discovered that supreme laws actively opposed such journeys and used the original universe's will to block them. Realizing he might fail, he prepared backup plans. He left a virtual consciousness in the world of Jin, preserved the linear element technique, forged Star Tower, and created inheritance paths for future disciples. During Star Tower's creation, a mysterious golden light fused with it, transforming it into a true godly king weapon. Star Tower contained 9 levels of techniques corresponding to different cultivation stages from before true God all the way to godly king. Eventually, Sitting Mountain Guest became trapped too deep within Universe Ocean. Unable to proceed or return, he placed part of his life imprint inside Jin Emperor Palace and underwent reincarnation. Jin Emperor Palace drifted into the original universe, allowing his life imprint to be reborn as the special life form known as Sitting Mountain Guest. because he retained memories and possessed godly king-level willpower. The supreme laws regarded him as a major threat. The original universe constantly monitored him, preventing him from displaying his true abilities. Seeking a suitable disciple, Sitting Mountain Guest first created the Flame God race, hoping to cultivate beings with limitless divine bodies. Flame Emperor emerged from this effort but lacked the necessary comprehension. Abandoning this approach, Sitting Mountain Guest later created Earth humans, selecting numerous talents over history. Eventually Luo Feng appeared, inherited Star Tower, mastered the linear element technique, acquired the 9-volume manual, gained the remote ocean body, and successfully walked both the divine body and soul paths. When Luo Feng asked why Sitting Mountain Guest had not enslaved the sector beasts himself, he explained that his reincarnated body was too weak and constantly restricted by the original universe. The original universe feared him more than it feared sector beasts because he potentially possessed the ability to perform soul transfer on the original universe itself. Sitting Mountain Guest then explained the true structure of existence. The land of origin was the source of all dimensions. There were 3.000 dimensions of universe ocean, each containing an original universe and an incarnation portal. All portals ultimately connected to the land of origin. The incarnation portal served two purposes. True gods of void space could travel through it to reach the land of origin physically. Alternatively, after death, powerful souls could return through it, although weaker souls would be destroyed and survivors would lose their memories. As a result, the land of origin continually accumulated powerful talents from all 3.000 dimensions. He revealed that soul transfer of an original universe was an extraordinary opportunity. By successfully taking control of an original universe's soul, one could comprehend its mysteries and greatly increase the chances of reaching the holy or even godly king levels. Purple Moon Ancestor knew of this secret and had tried to suppress humanity because he feared Luo Feng's future potential. Sitting Mountain Guest believed Luo Feng was particularly suited for soul transfer because of the linear element technique and his exceptional willpower. In contrast, Teacher Origin had failed because he attempted it while his true body remained within Universe Ocean, allowing the original universe to suppress him. Before departing, Sitting Mountain Guest warned Luo Feng that the land of origin was dangerous. Although it contained countless treasures, inheritances, kingdoms, and powerful organizations, even godly kings could be forced to flee. He urged Luo Feng to survive above all else and eventually avenge Jin country by killing the 3 rulers of Shi country. After the virtual consciousness disappeared, Luo Feng spent time studying the unrestricted inheritance of Duan-Dong River and learned even more about the land of origin, including its schools, tribes, cities, secret organizations, and kingdoms ruled by godly kings. More than a month later, after traveling through the incarnation portal, Luo Feng and Morosa sensed that their destination was near. Luo Feng gazed ahead with excitement, having always sought both adventure and the protection of his loved ones. He viewed the land of origin as the ultimate destination, the source of all 3.000 dimensions and a place where he could continue pursuing greater heights. As light appeared before him, Luo Feng declared that he would go to the land of origin to stand at the pinnacle and witness the grandest sights. Star Tower vanished into the radiance, and Luo Feng entered the land of origin, beginning a new and even greater adventure.